Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, we navigate this station. We've already dealt with the first wave of defenders and looted their bodies, but we have the rest of the room to clear, and of course we also want to gather whatever clues and context we can get our hands on. I think it's pretty clear that Felic's not playing it straight with us, so hopefully we can figure out what's really going on. All of the servants perished in the crossfire. Flubbed our med check. Hopefully that wasn't something important. Meteorite chunk. Interesting. Ripper auto pistol. I remember this thing from early access. Had some good times with this. Great for tearing people up in CQC. Mutated flesh sample. Delightful. We'll skip the main door for now, check the other side of the room, and maybe this side chamber. Intercepted conversation between security officers. Well, this sounds promising. Tremendous honor. Yes, but this promotion will transfer the entire squad to the child's personal guard. By the God Emperor. Well, you're a strapping lad. You'll probably make it for a cycle or three. It has worn down better men than me. What even is the point if your brains turn to mush? I may rip out my eyes like Amos did. At best, I'll just go bonkers like that little shit stain that kept stealing our low. Oh, what happened to that one? Threw himself out a depressurized chamber because some voices told him to. Calm down. Keeper Felix said the squad will not have to serve the child for long. He even gave us a little leeway. Unlike that fish-eyed... Be quiet, he might hear you. Well, you know what I mean. He almost busted our heads because someone forgot to check the catering unit. We haven't let in a single outsider in over 10 years, but Keeper Theobald keeps finding things to fret over. Imagine the shrieking if he finds out Keeper Felic didn't make us inspect the hangar after Lord Winterscale's most recent visit. Throne forbid. I try to steer clear of the squabbles among the highborn. Some of Keeper Felic's orders make little sense. Like the last time he commanded we cut off communications with Rykad Minoris for a while. Why would he do that? It looks like he grew tired of the Winterscale Scion's visits. Well, it's always a pleasure to aid Keeper Felic. That's right. If the highborn have grown tired of each other, let them deal with it. Interesting. So we now have precedent for Felic ignoring security protocols. The library is full of treatises by the most distinguished scholars of the Imperium, from Astra Militarum tacticians to Adeptus Mechanicus genitors. Neat. The Lady Navigator's statue looks pristine and new. Guess they ordered the collector's edition. I'd have done it myself, but, you know, cats. Lore book. Pontius Scipius Galasius. On the training of worthy servants at the court of Navis Nobilite. A good major domo attempts to nurture only the finest of flowers in the garden that is their master's life. Therefore, new seeds from the garden must be weeded out with the utmost care, so that the garden's trees may yield the sweetest fruit. The lessons below will help you separate the precious seeds from the vile thorns, to cultivate the perfect garden for any lady navigator. Lesson 1. A faithful servant always makes sure their mistress's rooms and garments are clean. Lesson 2. A faithful servant will never offer their mistress the same dress presented earlier in the cycle. Lesson 3. A faithful servant offers their mistress a glass of fresh water upon waking. Lesson 4. A faithful servant tastes each dish and every drink before serving it to their mistress. Lesson 5. A faithful servant will have mastered the art of styling their mistress's hair. The total time that 5 servants can spend on arranging their mistress's coiffure should not exceed 3 revolutions of the chronometer. Lesson 6. A faithful servant lives for their mistress, and gladly gives their life for her as well. Lesson 7. A faithful servant, etc., etc.
I always have a backup plan.
Yeah, I'd make a pretty lousy servant. I can barely even take care of myself. Well, I mean, I guess cats. Maybe I am a servant.
Success is the only outcome I accept.
Statue by the famous Calixian sculptor and chronicler, Zacharias Vernon the Magnificent. The 23rd year of this millennium. Original. Swanky.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Alright, let's check the side room. Oop. Argenta? Navigator flesh sample.
The crew continues to mourn Lady Theodora. I fear it may affect the performance of their duties in service of the Lord Captain.
In his service will they find strength and fortitude. Only thus will they turn their hearts away from the frailties that lead to heresies.
Not really relevant to what we're doing right now, guys, but always great to hear from you. Meanwhile, back on the corpse-strewn nightmare station.
What do we have here?
We have a trap with a remote trigger.
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows.
And more guards. Okay. Non-hostile. That's promising.
I always keep my options open.
Of course. Noble silk gloves. +5 persuasion. Still don't have our dedicated talker, but we'll toss those to Abelard in the meantime. Looking good there, Abby. Alright, let's get this trap cleared. There we go. Ooh, very nice. And what is up with you guys? Did you hear the screams? Move! Sir, are you all right? We can't hear anything. Now I see. You're in league with them. Is this an insurrection? Yes, indeed. Death to the traitors! Sir, what are you doing? Get a hold of yourself, sir! I know. You are all traitors. Traitors, all of you. They told me. They whispered. Hey, who are you? That's who I am. Yeah, they probably could have tightened that up a little.
Keep your wits about you.
Mostly the timing on the animations. At least if their intention was to invoke a sense of unease and dread, as opposed to mild amusement. Research notes. Research notes of Navis Laboratorum Custodian Fortunata Orselio, Part 13. Keeper Theobald graciously agreed to provide samples of his skin growth, so we could study the influence of the rebellious immaterium on the flesh of the Navis nobilite. Just as we thought, navigators are positively resistant to the restless currents of the warp. The God Emperor truly does shield some people against corruption and misery. But let us get back to the study of mortal flesh. Another servant will be carried in shortly. I must ready the organ extraction equipment. Oh, dear. Adamantine dust and black water. This was the worst idea that could have entered my mind. God Emperor be praised, I'm lucky to still have my head on my shoulders after this reckless experiment. Nevertheless, we did make an important discovery. The adamantine seems to protect the frail flesh of the lowborn to a degree. Having said that, not even the macerator can handle its temper, so we should probably introduce a more complex compound into the formula. All the data related to the experiment were recorded to data crypt K040H. I will get back to them later, once I am done with experiment H41OK. Ah, we're being given recipes. Have I mentioned that the chunk of meteorite found by Keeper Felix subjects is completely useless? Although, its shining granules could be used to make new paints for the child. Yes, I think I'm going to do exactly that. Right. So, adamantine dust, Blackwater, Data Crypt, Ohio.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Oh, speaking of which, Data Crypt OK. Which is not, in fact, OK.
Failure is just a temporary setback.
Thank you, Argenta. I guess I could have multi-keyed that instead of melt-a-bombing, but sometimes you just gotta be sure. Okay. A fair mix of assorted cargo. Oh, and here we go. A long las. Fantastic. That's a huge step up from our well-maintained sniper rifle. We can actually use that armor, too. Nice. It's a twofer. Though I am much more excited about the long las than I am about the extra 5% armor. Armor looks halfway decent, too. That was well worth the melt-a-bomb. Please tell me that's another storage room there. Okay, not quite what I was hoping for. For some reason, the archenemy's twisted influence has found its way into the station. The fact that the person is still alive is evidenced only by their barely audible groans. Where is the child? Is she safe? We're done for. They'll kill us all. I can't take this anymore. Oh, a rough, bloody sketch. Thank you. You really shouldn't have. Uwe? Uwe has had his tongue cut off, just like the rest of the lesser servants of House Orselio. Well, I would ask more questions, but seems like kind of a moot point. Rough, bloody sketch. A crumpled sheet of paper with a drawing of a tall woman and a dark-eyed monster. Painted with fresh blood. Interesting, interesting. Awaken the cogitator spirit. The cogitator's vid screen is covered in cracks and stained with dried blood. The buttons, switches, and levers were ripped out of the control panel with exceptional cruelty, and scattered around the sacred mechanism that now sparks and hisses in agony, still refusing to perish. Awaken! You turn a few of the remaining dials and pull the activation lever. The cracked vid screen of the sacred engine flickers. The cogitator's insides emit creaks and groans, and the lumens oscillate at random. It takes a while, but eventually the machine spirits do grant you access to the cogitator's systems. Data on navigators. After a brief pause, the data appears on the vid screen. Felic Orselio, location main hall, status alive. Theobald Orselio, location upper chambers, status alive. Calomira Orselio, location upper chambers, status deceased. Alexius Orselio, location lower levels, status deceased. Rasmus Esteban Orselio, location unknown, status deceased. But no mention of Fortunata. The Child. Location, upper chambers. Biometric parameters, rapid heartbeat, elevated body temperature. Stress level exceeds the permissible limit. Status, unknown error. Attention, calming procedures advised. Attention, upper chambers inaccessible. Error, the control rod is not present. If the rod has been misplaced, immediately contact a station keeper or the Navis Laboratorum custodian. Yeah, good luck with that. That's Fortunata. The archive data stored on the cogitator's local data crypt is partially corrupted, but you still manage to access the residual logs for examination. Box report 12AH890. The box recording hisses for some time before you hear a voice. This is Officer A282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower level. Chambers A to D are unpowered. The Tech Priest crew sent to investigate the problem is not responding. Requesting back... The officer's speech is interrupted by shouting, and the recording abruptly ends. Oh yeah, that definitely sounds like deliberate sabotage. Officer H123 speaking. 200 servants have perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We've located traces of mechanical interference. The preliminary cause is officer sabotage. Crews 5, 6, and 9 are cut off from the main compartment. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. May the Emperor save our souls. Oh, that's rough. Senior station officers, this is the captain speaking. We attempted to contact the Winterscale Scion for help, but something is jamming the signal. We never received a reply and cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. A rescue team is not coming. We are on our own, so remain vigilant. Anyone could be a traitor. You hear me? Anyone! If you're in doubt, shoot to kill. And that would be the guy we just gunned down. He was ranting and raving at us, but we just got the bullet points. The following Vox recordings are too badly distorted to make out even a single word. Incident log. Report X880, originator, classified, date, classified. The servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came from above to have their remains reprocessed. Report X886, originator, classified, date, classified. The negotiations with the Winter Scales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 moons. Escort them to the laboratory at once. It is imperative that we increase the new retainer's resistance to the child's powers. Right. Report X91. Originator classified. Date classified. Data expunged. Docking logs. The log is almost completely corrupted, but you managed to recover the latest entry. Identity confirmed. Regent Aranto Orselio. Date of visit classified. Reason for visit classified. Date of departure classified. Security and life support logs. The yellow dots above the control panel flicker to life, and a singular repeating message streams down the vid screen. Warning! Damage in technical compartments A12, B3, D8, and H24 detected. Warning! Living quarters L10, L16, L28 depressurized. Warning! Unable to access station's docking system. Warning! Energy regulation system. Unknown error. The station will transfer over to emergency power. Immediate evacuation of the facility is advised. Warning! I'm sure that's fine. Encrypted data? Something buzzes in the cogitator's metallic gut. Several red lumens light up above the vid screen. Required access level, security captain or above. Current access level, senior security officer. Coin toss. Well, crap. The vid screen flashes furiously and the control panel starts spitting out sparks that bite at your fingers. After a few minutes of desperate confrontation, the cogitator falls silent, once and for all barring you access to the classified data. Thank you, Machine Spirit. Wait, no, there's more. We had, like, other options and stuff. Yeah, there we go. Call Rykad Minoris for help. The system cannot carry out your command, despite the eager compliance of the machine spirits. One thing is for certain, the problem does not lie in the cogitator's mechanisms. The cogitator's vid screen goes dark, as if the machine spirits had fled their mechanical casket. But your assumption is incorrect, as it fills with static just a few moments later. You can barely make out an inscription amidst the flow of rapidly changing symbols. Warning! Data corrupted. Processing. Error. Something is required. Well, is this what's required? The cogitator takes a few moments to gather the data from the station's active systems. According to the report, this door has already been opened. This door has also already been opened. You push a few buttons on the control panel, but the system rebels and keeps resetting your commands. According to the data, the compartment that you're trying to open is depressurized. Yeah, let's maybe leave that one closed. The protocol has been executed. The passage has been opened. Hey, we got one, finally. 4th time's the charm. Already been opened. Oh. Ah. Okay, so we would have had to come over here anyway. Fair enough. Main elevator controls. A few manipulations with the switches makes you realize the elevator to the upper chambers is blocked. Well, unblock it. Processing query. Confirmed. I wonder what the other door we opened was. Probably that storeroom we blew open.
Is there money to be made?
Man, we really need to go pick up our tech priest. That'll be our second stop. Just wanted to bank our talker first. Both our navigator and our tech priest. Oh, hold on. That wasn't there last time. Warp Seer's Goggles. Grants willpower bonus, warp lore. Oh, maybe that's what we opened with the cogitator. Because I'm fairly certain that wasn't there the first time we came through. That's why I keep flicking open the map. I'm looking for loot icons. Anyway, nice find. Not much use to us just yet, but... Heresy has found its way into the halls of this esteemed house. It is a black day for the Navis nobilite. Cool. Thanks, Abelard. No comment on the weird cold spot?
I always have a backup plan.
Also, someone murdered those statues. Someone disrupted this experiment in the most brutal fashion. It is impossible to determine what was inside. Boo! Boo! Stop failing checks! Biogel. Black water. And unidentified acid. 3 more components for our mystery recipe. Also, Psi Crystal. Psi-yi-yi. Flesh sample. So that should emulate a lowborn servant. And Data Crypto Ohio. Okay, we've got everything we need for that specific experiment. The caustic stench of reagents sears her nostrils, and broken glass crunches underfoot. Somebody wanted to destroy the laboratory. Or find something.
Let us not dawdle.
Why not both? It doesn't have to be one or the other. Oh, Lady Cassius Medicae. What's up, Doc? They all just lost their minds. Please, don't kill me. Yeah, I wasn't planning on it. Lab journal. Nice. Laboratory Journal H4045LS. Experimental section. The child's influence on the psycho-emotional state of various representatives of the Imperium. Access level Orcelio T Prime. Experiment H45451. Subgroup Lowborn. Male. Test subjects exhibit signs of acute stress. The majority perished of blood loss within a day of being placed in the laboratory chamber due to the inability to halt the discharge of ocular secretions, tears, and the body's subsequent replacement of these secretions with the connective tissue of its internal environment. The individuals with the greatest resistance to the sacred child's resonance died several chronoturns later. Extensive wounds in the abdomen, presumably inflicted by a jagged piece of metal. Death was caused by strangulation with the subject's own intestines. The subject's final shouts exhibited concerns over abominable tentacles and void worms, hallucinations prescribed to their own internal organs. Lovely. Experiment H45452. Subgroup Lowborn Female. The test subjects died within an hour of entering the laboratory adjacent to the child's chambers. Most had their tongues bitten off or their jaws badly dislocated. Some test subjects lacked the physical strength to separate it from the rest of the skull. Cause of death: severe head injuries caused by impacting the walls or the floor. Experiment H45453, subgroup. A paralyzed patient who lost the ability to speak due to the shock caused by a manufacturum accident. Male. The test subject noted a tingling sensation in the deteriorated tissue. During Regent Aranto Orselio's visit to the child, the test subject smiled and started humming, most likely trying to carry some plebeian tune, and then attempted to address the servant who brought them food. A lengthy conversation was prohibitive due to the servant's lack of a tongue. Okay, that one wasn't a complete nightmare. Mostly. Experiment H45454. Subgroup, a defective offspring of Lord P. Orselio, pronounced unfit for studying the high art of navigation owing to the mutation of tissues required for installation of the obligatory augmentations that merge one's consciousness with the vessel. Additionally, they display an overall feebleness of mind. Female. Ouch. The test subjects mirrored the child's actions for 3 days. On the 4th day, the child became upset after hearing the news about the untimely demise of Amos Cantarelli, an officer of her personal guard. As a result, one of the test subjects peeled away several layers of tissue from her face and died from the resulting massive heart attack. The last surviving test subject was executed for attempting to contact the child, which I guess was subject 3. Cool. Well, that was horrifying, and I am glad I read it. Moving on. Ooh, adamantine. That's the last thing we needed for that recipe. And there's our control rod. Wow, it really was just that simple. So in theory, we now have everything we need to access the upper chamber. But let's finish poking around here. More research notes. Research notes of Navis Laboratorum Custodian Fortunata Orselio, Part 12. More and more servants are being influenced by the Immaterium, and it has nothing to do with the child's more frequent tantrums. We've discovered that the corrupted flesh of the mutated reacts most unusually to the crystals we purchased from the Winterscale dynasty. I strongly recommend finely grinding the reagent to catalyze the reaction. Do not use acid under any circumstances. Trust me, you will not like having to tend to the burns for the next dozen turns in a row. This calls for something more basic. Oh, and one more thing. The Tech Priest blessed the data crypt H41OK for the calculated number of chrono turns, which means it is no longer necessary to remain near the device while waiting for the reaction to start. The data crypt H40KO malfunctioned over the course of our research. I should remind the Technomats to deliver this sacred mechanism into Magos Dioctius's capable hands. Mutated flesh sample. Datacrypt H41OK. Do not use acid, but do use powdered psi crystals. Okay, that seems relatively straightforward. Transducer. Ah, keys off of the reagent, so...
This could be an opportunity.
Yes, alright. That's how we pulverize the reagents into an actual mixable form. So what do we need? We need, that's not right. We need... Data crypt, okay. Mutated flesh. Data crypt, okay. Powdered psi crystal dust. Oh, catalyst. Okay, so not acid. And we need the black water for the other one. So it has to be biogel. And then, yes, powdered psi crystal. Hey! It actually worked. Nice. Which nets us 6 adaptive antidotes. Grants immunity to toxic damage, but at the cost of 10 points of toughness. That's a pretty harsh trade-off. And now the other one. That one was Lowborn Servant, Flesh Sample, Adamantine Dust, Black Water, Datacrypt, Ohio. Actually, no, it says Blackwater was a mistake, so this could be another fake out. Alright, I think I've got it. Datacrypt, Ohio. And not Blackwater, so it has to be acid. Reagent is adamantine, but we have to hyper smash it. Transduce, damn you! Transduce! Ah, smells like adamantine spirit. And then normal flesh sample.
What's a peculiar thing?
Huzzah! Elixir of Warp Neutrality. Those damn neutrals. Who knows where they stand? Grants immunity to warp damage, but inflicts a -10 penalty to Fellowship. And the user can't deal warp damage, so definitely not ideal for Psychers. And might as well toss the leftovers in too. Go full circle on our Vial experiments. KO. 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 Navigator Flesh. Black Water. And, where is... Oh, did I not? I forgot to actually pick up the meteorite dust. Yep, there it is. Let's get it to the meteorite place. Oh, it was clearly like that when I got here.
Keep
I've got to go.
wits about you.
All right, let's go chat up Phallic. Yeah, that's just the transducer.
I always keep my options open.
Orselio looks a little better. His tangled hair is now neatly braided, his wounds are tightly bandaged, and there is some healthy color under the scales on his cheeks. You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator. Well done. I trust you brought the activation rod as well? Remember, every second of hesitation may cost my mistress her life. Adira suddenly cocks her head and drives her nails deep into her shoulder. Then she starts mumbling. The crossroads. There are 2 paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks, so poor and flimsy. They fall at the slightest touch. One hiding a blind man. Another a traitor. Is that so? You want to maybe elaborate? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like the most. Oh, is that all? Any idea who's behind the masks? My whispers are giggling nastily. They will not speak, the naughty little things. They say that tearing off the masks is your concern. All right. Thanks, Adira. I'll keep that in mind. Adira nods tiredly and glances at Felix out of the corner of her eye. This station has enough problems without your sorcery, psyker. Felix waves Adira off, then looks at you expectantly. Yeah, no kidding. This place does seem pretty messed up. Felix, you and me need to talk. I have some questions. You think they are worth the life of my mistress? I don't know, maybe. Really depends on how you answer them. I keep hearing about this child. I assume that's your mistress? You meddled with something that should have been left alone. The keeper folds his arms and shakes his head disapprovingly. The child is what the station's servants call Lady Cassia. For the commoners' dirty mouths must not sully her name by uttering it. You see, it is not beneficial for all servants to have their vocal organs altered. Some prove to be more useful when they are still able to speak. Cool. The guys defending this place seem to think that we were the traitors. Any idea why? Felix gives an indifferent shrug. That's why they are insane. Will you really heed the ramblings of retainers who dared to raise their hand against the scions of a noble bloodline? I mean, there was the one crazy guy, but most of them seem pretty lucid. What about all the dead servants I found in there? You gonna tell me they were part of this conspiracy too? Did you really think mere servants could plan a coup? The senior officers are just as guilty. Half of my guards butchered one another because they suspected treason. As for the real culprit, the coup was staged by those closest to the mistress. Yeah, whoever's behind this must be pretty high up the command chain. Destroying shuttles, shutting off the power, disabling the security system, disrupting communications. Sounds like it must have been someone right near the top. As I'm sure you are aware, there were 2 keepers of the station. Your guess is absolutely correct. Theobald Orselio, the demented old man obsessed with Lady Cassia and her power, and also the one to blame for the woes that have befallen Urac 5 and our noble line. Weird. I found this Vox recording that seemed to indicate some guy named Felix was behind the security lapses. Must have been some other Felix. Pretty common name. I was lenient. This is true. And in the end I paid a steep price for it. Just look at the destruction around us. The insurgents have left almost nothing of my home. The keeper spits out the last few words with particular bitterness. No, sorry, just not buying it. Pretty much everything I found in there points straight at you, Felix. Then it really is time to end this. Felix squares his shoulders and gestures to his guards. I was hoping to find an ally in you, but now you are merely delaying the sorrowful end of your story. Prepare to die!
Your arrogance will be your downfall.
Purge them!
And we are into it. Bit of a rough spot we're in, surrounded on both sides already, but with some proper planning and foresight, I think we can make it through this. Argenta's up first, so let's leverage that. We'll try to clear the guards on this side first, give ourselves a safe area to hunker down. Evil Premonition. Alright, let's try to knock this guy out before he gets a turn. Ooh, those are not good odds. Really got to grind up that accuracy.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Yeah, that seems about right. And apparently we can't use run and gun, so I guess we're done.
Nothing.
Ow. Moderate hit on Adira and Argenta. Let's try to trim this guy.
On it.
Nice, okay. Now things are looking slightly better.
Pain cleanses the body.
You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. Oh. Alright, that guy just became our priority. Last thing we need is someone getting blasted prone. Alright, Val. First fight with the new long las. Don't let me down. I call shotgun.
You never stood a chance.
Fantastic. It begins. Let's get Abby on Felic. That'll also put him right up front, make him the most tempting target.
I will do my...
Nice. Argenta. Okay, now she has running gun. Weird. Let's get you on this guy. Oh, close, but... we should have had another burst. Well, crap. We might lose Argenta.
Oh, my ears are ringing.
Oh. Okay, well, never mind. I mean, to be fair, I guess that is Felic's bodyguard. He would prioritize the guy currently sawing his boss to pieces. Let's go for another guard. Oh, shoot. Did that out of order. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Seems unlikely it would have made a difference. These three, Valen, Abelard, Argenta.
Liberty prevails!
And we're good. Let's wrap this up.
I don't need luck. I have strategy. On it.
Nice. Oh, boo. Just out of range. Maybe I should just toss this to Argenta. Goodbye, Felic. Sorry, gotta cut and run.
At your beck and call.
We'll pin this guy in. Hopefully we can cap him, but if not, Abelard's got it. Well, that sucked. Need to get her a flamer. But still got it done. Which just leaves that guy. Pretty well entrenched. Let's not take any chances. No, wait, we have a second. Ah, right. Well, that does make this easier.
Was that...
High momentum.
All right, Val. You've got 2 shots at this.
Another enemy down.
And got it in 1. Lovely. And thus falls Felic. Shoddy. I might just go ahead and slap that on Argenta. The pistols aren't really working out.
Is there money to be made?
Keeper's control rod. Oh, tactical goggles. Yes, please. Staff of House Orselio. Useless to anyone but a navigator. Well, clearly our big prize here is the tactical goggles. Or tactical monocle. I'll take it. And that's it. Which, sadly, brings us to a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take care of the usual off-screen bookkeeping, and we'll pick up here next time. We have a spare rod, so we'll spoil the child. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, Blindiron, CrowkingLoR, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, Theory V23, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz, Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.